Welcome back to our live show. Our next guests are award-winning writers who love to create historical romance novels that leave readers wanting more. These talented authors, they're in town to promote a romance yarn, The Reading Salon. It's tonight in Midlothian. First, they stopped by Virginia this morning. We welcome New York Times best-selling authors Lori Wilde and Catherine Ash to Virginia this morning. It's nice to have both of you here.
Thank you, Jessica.
Catherine, you're returning. Lori, this is your first visit, so welcome and welcome back.
Thank you.
This morning, Kathy Maxwell was going to be with us too because she's part of this big event this evening. She'll be there tonight, but tell us, what is this all about? I love it, a romantic yarn.
A romance yarn is a reading salon, so a literary salon in the great traditions of literary salons, where romance readers get together and hear a couple of authors read from their novels and chat about it, have fun.
And ask questions.
And ask lots of questions.
And knit.
Yeah.
We'll be knitting tonight.
And together too. Lori has her knitting.
I even brought my knitting, yes.
Lori, that looks like about my skills, where it just rolls off onto the floor and then typically like the cat will get it, right? So if you don't know about knitting, can you come tonight and learn or just want to be inspired?
You can come and be inspired. You can come if you love books, if you love chocolate. We're having to have chocolate and wine, so come to the
because there's women and there's romance, and so chocolate necessarily.
It always follows.
Hand in hand. It made sense to me. I saw where all this was going.
Naturally.
This is a great opportunity. Both of you are very successful with the books that you've created and successful in terms of making this transition to become writers. And when I talked about questions, I'm sure you have legions of fans that come to events that you do, will come out tonight. And a lot of them are probably curious about taking that first step.
It is, well, for one thing, I love to see my readers. I love to see all romance readers. It's so much fun to be able to, social media is terrific. I love it, it's great. But wonderful to be able to just get in a room and be a bunch of women together and some men. We have readers who are men as well. And talk about what makes a great story, and what oftentimes we end up talking about what made our story, and your question about how we got to where we're doing, how we took the plunge. I've been writing stories my entire life, and I eventually wrote an entire novel, and that's when it just was something I always did for fun, and then sought publication, and that's you said you're writing a story about a musician. Have you ever written about a writer before?
I have written about a writer. Have you?
Yeah, I have. Actually, my most recent novel, The Earl, is about a writer, and she's more sort of the equivalent of what today is a blogger. She does anonymous pamphlets. At the time, I write historical romance. So this is about 200 years ago, and she writes pamphlets anonymously about all the wrongs of society, and she's very fiery, and she's got lots of spirit, but she has this nom de plume. She's in secret doing it, and it was so much fun to write someone who I for years was not out as a romance author. I was in academia, I was a professor, and I didn't tell anybody I was also publishing.
Secret.
Yeah, so in this character, I'm writing a writer who has done more or less the same thing. It's been secret for a while.
Really, really neat. And Catherine started to allude to this, Lori. You take inspiration really wherever you are. And right before we got started, you were saying, "Oh, I hope they stick around." The musicians.
Yeah, the musicians.
I hope the musicians stick
Lucas
around
Hogue, because I'm writing about a musician, and he's very cute. So, and his song sounded very provocative too.
I think the collaboration between the two, right? They can gather some of that romantic perspective and that's really interesting. You'll share that insight. Not only are you doing the event tonight, but you're speaking over the weekend too.
Yes, anybody that's maybe an aspiring author can come to the Virginia Romance Writers. We're going to be at the Twin Hickory Library tomorrow at 9 a.m. is when the program starts. It's an all-day program. I'll be talking about my journey to publication and teaching some craft workshops as well.
Which is really, really interesting, because I know a lot of folks, especially I love the like social media of these anonymous pamphlets that she's doing. There are so many women and men who maybe have written and just maybe are on the cusp of thinking, is this good enough to put out there? With your first book, did that ever get picked up? Was that one that was picked up, or is that still tucked away somewhere and you learned from it?
The first book is still tucked away, but I did sell my second book that I wrote. So, but I had done 60 short stories before then, and had 60 short stories rejected.
Right.
So I had been writing quite a while before I
it's
sold.
an overnight success story,
yes.
right? And Catherine, how about you?
I think it's always an overnight success story. I had been well, as I said, I've been writing fiction my entire life, and I eventually wrote a novel, and it wasn't that novel that was that eventually was published, but it wasn't that novel that was my first novel. It takes practice. It takes a little bit of courage to do something, and not everyone has support from family and friends. But until you put it out there, you can't get the feedback you need to move forward. So for any nascent writers out there, anyone who's hoping, who loves to write and who's hoping to publish, I just say go for it. Give it to people, give it to anybody, give it to friends, find writing groups, critique partners, and eventually it'll happen.
And come to an event like tonight. We're out of time, but I've got to ask you super fast, lightning, first thing that comes to mind, what's so fun about writing romance?
Everything.
That's fair.
The love stories.
The love story.
Yep.
And for you?
Well, you get to spend all day thinking about love. I mean,
Love it, I love it, I love it. Thank you, ladies, for being with us.
Thank you so much.
They are some of the top historical romance novelists in the country, Catherine Ash and Lori Wilde, and our friend Kathy Maxwell will be out. You can come out and meet them tonight, 7 p.m. at Dances with Wool. I love that. 1229 Sycamore Square in Midlothian.